Roxamore Sports Network starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you feel that? Tell me, can you feel that? You see it coming? Yeah, let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing to the Lord the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Turner brothers, yeah, we screamin' lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. It is Game 7 of Day 2, and we're not tired yet. Travis Newton alongside Karen Hall, and we have a good one on deck for you as the Kiski Prep Cougars out of Salzburg, Pennsylvania, hit the road alongside the Teays Valley Lions to battle it out from Scotts Depot, West Virginia. We're here at Woodland Hills High School and ready to get things going. Karen, they're introducing the starting lineups right now. You talked to the coach from the Kiski Prep Cougars. What can you tell me about this team?
Yeah, so Coach Williams, he's a former Woodland Hills grad. So he himself has won section champs here. His strategy tonight really is to focus in on playing hard, boxing out, and scoring and defending. So he already has some strategies in mind to where he want to neutralize the size of Teays. So it'll be interesting to see how he is able to make that happen tonight.
And we were looking down through the rosters before the game just seconds ago, and you said, man, these teams are tall. They're not as thick as the last two teams we saw, but definitely a lot of height on both rosters.
Right, and you know, Teays in February 18, they cracked the USA Today Boys Super Top 25 at number 24. So nationally, they have a national schedule, and they are battle tested.
All right, Karen, so we're going to go ahead and take our fans through the starting lineups while they're doing it behind us on the PA announcer. Can you go ahead and run us through the Kiski Prep starters?
Sure, for Kiski tonight, you have number 12 at 6'4". You know, Moncrief, he's being recruited by Atlantic 10 and Northeast Conference teams. You got number 4, that's one of the point guards, Cameron Villarreal at 6'2", another senior. You got number 13, that is, that's Stephen Watson, 6'3" senior. Number 15, Neon Williams, another 6'7" senior. And lastly, number 51 at 6'5", that's Reese Boyle. So they're coming large and long.
And then for the Teays Valley Lions, we're getting started with number 2, Leo Lynn, standing at 6'4". We then go to number 3, Brandon Brown at 6'2". Next up, number 15, Josiah Davis, the big man, standing at 6'2". And then going even bigger to number 23, Adam Baines, He's at 6'6", and we round things off with the 6'9", number 33, Jerome Bea.
So, Travis, just with their size, I'm looking at a game that's going to be played on the inside. It's going to be crucial that their guards are able to pass into the post and without turning the ball over.
It'll be interesting to see with this size which team is going to have an advantage in shooting. Obviously, they're going to be banging it down low, but we'll see which team has the finesse when it comes down to it from behind the arc and even the mid-range jumpers.
I think one more key to this game is going to be who control the boards. They're all big inside, but controlling and being able to grab rebounds is going to be big for both teams.
So here we go from Woodland Hills High School. Kiski in the white, Teays in the black, and here we go. Teays Valley will get the tip and get started with their first offensive possession of the game. Going inside fast, and a nice-looking left-handed shot by Adam Baines.
So to our pregame talk, they've already started going inside.
And just quickly noticing right away that we didn't see in our last game is a set offense coming from that team and answering right back with an impressive three, Norion Williams.
Right, so they're both ready, they're mentally prepared, and they've come out both scoring baskets in their offensive sets.
And both teams coming out and showing that they're not going to be shy shooting the ball, so I brought that up, and right away both teams hit their first two shots. We'll see if they can keep up that stroke from deep throughout this game.
Well, I can hear Coach Williams next to me yelling rebound, and that was one of his keys to today's game for his Kiski Prep Boys, Cougars.
So Kiski, this time settling into their offensive set, working it around the perimeter.
Moncrief got a little tangled there, Travis.
Now a tough shot on the mid-range jumper off glass, no good. Back comes Teays Valley. He hit his last shot, pump fake left, goes right and meets him at the rim, and the follow jam is good. Jerome Bea cleaning up the mess and flushing it home.
Well, defensively, that tells Kiski, cut off that baseline.
So we've seen some good shooting, and then we see the height there on the follow jam. Good job following up the shot and cleaning up the mess for Teays Valley.
This is this is Moncrief, who's highly recruited for Kiski.
And both of these teams showing they're willing to be physical. We talked about the height, but they get a little bit thicker as they play. We thought they were a little bit skinny to begin with, but they're playing tough out there.
Well, one major difference between players now and a while ago, all 5 players on both ends will get the ball off the board and go coast to coast.
That is definitely a way that the game has evolved. Always like to see the big men use the handles and go coast to coast and get some buckets.
Well, as a former coach, I still get nervous when I see the 6'7" handling. Great skill to have, but I get nervous for that.
Adam Baines showing he's been working out in the gym, getting that shot down. Nice looking stroke, nice backspin, and he's flushed all 3 shots that he's taken so far.
Well, you can see both coaches, they're standing, they're both talking about strategy to their teams. And both teams are being very deliberate in their offense.
So that three-pointer off the mark, and back comes Baines. Went for the jam, just not enough vertical on that one on the run. So a close game early, 6-5 in favor of Teays Valley in the black uniforms with the blue lettering.
Well, what you can see is defense, and you can actually hear their team shouting defense, but they're down in stance, they're rotating. That's good team defense. They actually created the turnover in this possession.
We see Norion Williams, you can see him on the camera with the bright green and pink shoes. Not easy to find him, and he definitely stands out with his game, but if he didn't, the shoes would do the job for him.
Well, they watch TV, they see the college guys, they see the NBA with the multicolored shoes, so why not in high school?
Why not? Once again, a good-looking shot there. Adam Baines putting it away for the deuce.
Well, both teams are doing a good job in scoring right now and in their offensive set. Not too much one-on-one play right now, just really into offensive sets.
Rising up there was Cameron Villarol, and his coach telling him not to settle. It's a great point. He kind of just walked into that three without really analyzing the defense and what his offense could set up there.
High hands, got a deflection there, and then you get an unnecessary reach by Boyle.
So the second foul of the game now, one each for either team. And it's going to be a sideline inbounds for Kiski.
One thing I do love about these guys, that the point guards are big. I mean, they used to come to 5'4", 5'8". They're talking 6'2s and 6'3s now, Travis.
And Norion Williams showing he can definitely stroke it. He's a big man as well at 6'7", but unlimited range from that young fella, and we answer right back with a three from Brandon Brown.
Well-coached, two well-coached teams. You can see it in the early first quarter here.
So let's see which defense can get a stop first.
You know, Kiski is an independent school, but Coach Williams was saying they play, you know, top talent around the area. They're 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh, but they fill their schedule with teams that can compete and cause them some challenge on the court.
And from our previous game, a little bit of a difference I've noticed is these guys have a lot of skills. With the previous game, of course, they had skills, but they relied more on their athleticism than they did their skills. With these guys, you can see they have that ball on a rope whenever they're dribbling it. Their shot form looks perfect, and you can tell it's paying off in points.
And they're more deliberate. They're making sure that everybody's involved in the offense. And for a couple, except for a few early shots by Kiski, they're pretty much moving the ball.
Norion Williams going to try another one from way downtown. Took the contact and dropped to the ground, but won't get the foul call. Stepping out of bounds is Teays Valley, so that gives it right back to Kiski.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those games where both teams are disciplined. You know, they're going to be making some adjustments, in-game adjustments, and then you're going to see some really good play from all the players on the floor.
In the previous game, we saw the host school for the MLK Showcase, Woodland Hills, get a big-time dub over Moon Area High School. They are now 2-0 in their own tournament.
It's always good when the home team can keep winning.
Now coming back on the other side, it's going to be a three-point battle. This one's going to go short, chase for the offensive rebound, and Kiski comes up with it, gaining possession.
I know Kiski got the ball, but Coach Williams is stressing boxing out, which really they didn't really do on that last possession.
Reese Bowl, number 51, stepped into that three and really thought about it, but he decided it'd probably be best for him to stay on the court and not be yanked after taking that ill-advised three.
Good point, very good point.
And I don't think there's such thing as an ill-advised three for Norion Williams. They're letting him have all the confidence in his shot.
Yeah, he definitely has his left foot called the green light.
So spinning, working his way inside, Adam Baines. And then Leo Lynn getting his first shot off and hitting. So Leo Lynn coming right back and answering an offensive battle early on and weaving, snaking his way through the defenses. Chris Moncrief gets the bucket and the foul, gonna go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, Travis, we had a couple Kiski guys thinking that I was playing defense on them, so I had to instruct them to the table to check in.
Sometimes they just need a little guidance to know where to go. They're still young in high school. You can't blame them.
Exactly. It's a good start out here, though. Really
it
good
is a good start. Really fast-paced game, but both teams under control. We haven't seen too many turnovers yet, and shooting ability is very obvious when you watch these two teams.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with their offensive sets and their ability to play at a good pace without slowing it down and being deliberate in their shot selections. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now.
Well, hopefully we can continue this pace throughout the rest of the game. We've got a good one so far. It's a 4-point lead for Teays Valley Lions. They come into this game with a record of 12-4 under Coach Ryan Arrowwood. So we return from the timeout. It will be the Kiski Prep Cougars. Should be stepping up to the free throw line, and it will be Moncrief looking to finish his three-point play.
It's a very good acknowledgement from Kiski, making sure they all knew who they had on defense. A lot of talking out on that court right now. Those are teams with confidence. You can always tell teams that are sure what they're doing by their communication.
I knew this game had a little bit of a different feel to it, and I think it's that they both came out in man-to-man defense. We haven't seen that in a while with a consistent man-to-man pressure, and it's nice to see them get at each other one-on-one every once in a while.
Yeah, I think that's their basketball culture. I mean, both of these teams, as I mentioned, they're playing national schedules, as well as some of our other teams in our tournament. But you can see they're staying within their culture of play.
And every time Adam Baines goes to the hoop, he's attacking the rim. You can tell this kid likes to live above the iron. He went hard there, drew the foul, and now will go to the stripe.
And actually, he's getting to the basket very easily, which means Kiski, step up, cut it off, make them pass the ball. That way you've done your job. You eliminate another dunk that could happen.
Yeah.
But mainly step up, make them pass, or take a charge.
And I'd also like to see Kiski start to force Baines to his right hand. Every time we've seen him drive to the hoop, it's been with that southpaw. So make him go right, see if he can maybe babble a dribble up over there. And if not, it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to get to the hoop, a little bit of discomfort.
Well, we always say the first 3 minutes you're filling out the opponent, but by the end of that first quarter, second quarter, you should have a good idea in their tendencies.
So 150 remaining here in the opening quarter of play. Teays Valley ahead, 16-11. They're going to continue into that man-to-man defense. Nice footwork by Leo Lynn, cutting off the offensive player. Moncrief trying to force it where there was no space. Now coming back in, Brandon Brown, nice little touch off the glass.
Oh, you know what? That was pretty, Travis. That makes me real excited. He was going to the basket. He saw it was a 2-on-1. Instead of taking it all the way in and forcing it, he pulled up for the kisser off the glass. Great recognition.
So Teays Valley with the early advantage, 18-11. Both teams have put up around the same amount of shots, but Teays Valley's just making more of them.
Yeah, so defensively, if we've watched, Teays has been getting to the basket more so than Kiski. So they got to cut off the penetration.
We'd like to introduce the sponsor for this game, the Wilbanks Consulting Group. Is your athlete struggling to see a career path after graduation? If your child lacks direction, career exploration coaching can help. Career experts at the Wilbanks Consulting Group help your athlete identify their strengths beyond sports for a lifetime of success and career satisfaction. Call 1-833-924-9675 today for your free consultation. So we're back to the action here, Woodland Hills High School, the 2020 MLK Showcase featuring teams from around the nation and some of this country's top basketball talent, both individuals and institutions.
Yeah, Teays came out of that timeout into a 1-2-2 half-court press. So little adjustment by Coach Arrowhead.
Now we got a substitution, and instantly making his name known, Micah Coates didn't have to shake off any rust coming off the bench there.
That means he was ready to play, ready to go.
You can tell with this Kiski team, it doesn't matter how tall you are, they're all trained to shoot that jumper, and they do it extremely well.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Not shy about it either.
So Kiski, after the make, looking to get back into another good offensive take. A foul called, there was a block. And now going back to the free throw line will be Moncrief.
Yeah, Moncrief is making his mark known early that, he is one of the players that Kiski is going to go throughout this game.
Moncrief and Adam Baines on the opposing team really have the same style coming in. Go get to the hoop. If they have a wide open jumper on the kick out, of course they're going to take it. But they're doing a good job of pushing the issue and initiating their offense.
With both of those players being recruited, when you think of the next level, this level they can maybe get away with the penetration to the basket and the finish. But, they need to think about the jump shot, the pull-up jump shot, the little kisser off the glass. Because in college, that people will understand your tendencies and you're being scouted. So you need to have more than just one way to get to the basket and score.
With the Moncrief free throw, he brings his team within 2 points. And now an offensive foul on the push-off by Brandon Brown. It's good defense, getting himself in position and just taking the blow. No, it's going to be the best result for his team.
But I like the idea because, you're setting the screen out high. Your teammate needs to call the screen so that doesn't happen. But I like the move.
Let's see if Kiski can take the lead here. They're going to try with the three, and they will. Once again, it's number 23, showing that sweet, sweet touch from beyond the arc, Micah Coates.
That was all set up by the baseline drive and the pass.
So with 1.9 seconds left on the clock, we'll see what Teays Valley can force. Tipped away, and just not aware of the time there. He had a chance after the tip away to put a shot up, but thought there was more time on the clock than there was, and eventually he ran out.
Yeah, it was good first quarter, but that dribble kills players all the time.
So Kiski's been behind for most of the quarter, but a late three puts him ahead 19-18. We're going to go ahead and step away here on the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll bring you right back to Kiski versus Teays Valley. If you're a lover of the game of basketball, Woodland Hills tonight is the place to be. Tons of talent and plenty of opportunities for student athletes to shine. We have a good game here in the making. Kiski Prep High School is ahead of Teays Valley by 1 point, 19-18 as we start out the second period of play. Another three, once again showing off the range. Is Norion Williams. We'll call him Happy Feet with those bright colors. He hasn't been shy, and I don't think he ever will be about taking that deep shot.
So I like Williams' drive. I like the drive. You know, he's very deliberate in his shots, very smart in picking where he wants to make things happen.
You can really see the confidence in the shot. You can tell this is a kid that's putting up hundreds to thousands of shots per day to really perfect. The shot's a tough thing to do. It looks easy when people do it, but there's really a lot that goes into it, and you can tell this kid puts a lot of time into his game.
It's called muscle memory. It's those 100 shots every day and all day long on that court. Muscle memory. And
they teach you at the youngest level, beef, balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. Doesn't matter what age you're at or what level of play you're at, it always rings true. If you have good balance, eyes, elbows, and follow through, you're going to make more shots than you miss.
We call that beef.
Beef.
We call it, that's the acronym of beef. You said it.
So while we're talking about a variation of meets, meanwhile, they're playing basketball, Teays Valley, and Brandon Brown finding his way back to the free throw line.
It's interesting, and maybe it's the eye of the coach, eye of the player, but there's many lefties in this tournament. That's something that you don't see much. We have two lefties on Teays. You know, you have Brandon and you have Baines, two lefties on one team. That doesn't happen too often.
And in basketball, it doesn't make nearly as much of a difference than it does in other sports, but it's still nice to have a lefty or two on your roster.
Well, it creates a different mindset. And I'll tell you what, as we had a man among boys last game, I think Williams is developing into that player right now in our game.
He looks like a man, and he is certainly playing like a man here in this first half.
Playing very tenacious. He has one goal in mind, that is getting to the basket.
Norion Williams now with 11 points through just a quarter and a half of play.
But one thing we can see right now, both teams are going to play this game to the end. So it may have the momentum right now. Kiski may have the momentum right now, but it's truly going to go back and forth.
This certainly has the potential to be one of the best games we've seen early on in this weekend. With this game, we are actually at the halfway point of this tournament. So it's been a good first half so far, both of this game and of the tournament. A lot of competition and a lot of great play. As zigging and zagging his way through the paint, Josiah Davis goes hard with the right hand and finishes. He's thinking about it. He's going to try it this time off to the right, and a nice rebound by Brown looking to start his offense up.
Well, watching Williams play through one quarter, now he definitely has the go-ahead for whatever shot he likes on the floor.
And we talk about grown men. We get a grown man move here on the other side. Josiah Davis, he's starting to emerge as a scorer here in the second period. He goes to the bucket and gets the foul. We'd like to remind you of Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repast, and more? You can find it all at Wilson's Night Out.
So one thing you can see, they are spreading the floor, and they're making Teays come out and play out among the perimeter, which is opening up the lanes.
Nice hands down low for Teays Valley. They slap it off the leg of the Kiski offensive player and out of bounds. Possession goes back.
You know, one thing about this MLK tournament, it's the indication where you have teams that constantly play games. So they could might as well take a break of just practice, but they've decided to keep playing, stay sharp, so that when they get back to their respective schools and section play, they are still in the flow of playing and competition.
And it may sound weird, but you can definitely tell there's a lot of kids on these teams. They just straight up play a lot of basketball, whether it's AAU or their high school teams, or if they're just getting 5-on-5, 3-on-3, even 1-on-1 runs. There's certain kids that just stand out, and they're savvy on the court, their shooting ability. You can tell they just play a lot of basketball.
Right.
A late whistle there, and Norion Williams hitting the deck. He's going to get a chance to extend his point total. He's already at 11, and now we'll be going to the line for a pair.
So Williams, he goes to the basket strong, right? He's totally dominating, going to the basket. But how do you stop that? You run ahead and plant in front, and you got to just sacrifice the body. You have to take a hit in order to stop that and to create a charge for Williams.
No, I honestly wouldn't mind Teays Valley maybe throwing a double team or two his way, at least before he gets down into the paint around the three-point line. If you can push him into a corner and get a double there, I could definitely see that as being something that would be beneficial for Teays Valley, because he is just dominating right now on all of his one-on-ones.
You have to take away what he loves to do, and right now he loves to go right. I'm sure they know that, but they have yet to make a decision to cut that off.
So ahead by 2 are the Kiski Prep Cougars, looking to equalize or take the lead now. Coming in is Adam Baines, and just too easy on the offensive attempt. And Teays Valley, after that made bucket, is going to call a timeout. So we're all squared up at 25-25 with 4:41 remaining here in the second period. We're going to step away one more time here on the Roxamore Sports Network and bring you right back for the second period action.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Into the Roxamore Sports Network's presentation of Kiski Prep Cougars versus Teays Valley Lions here at the 2020 MLK Showcase, hosted by Woodland Hills High School. We have a good one so far, all matched up 25-25 with 4:41 remaining, and I got a feeling we got a lot more of great basketball to see. So the floor general for Kiski, Cameron Villarreal, calling out the offense and now getting that offense set up and ready to play here in the second period. And if you're Kiski High School right now, Norion Williams should be touching that ball at least once every possession, as he just now gets his first touch of the game. So all squared up, looking for the team to break the tie. Nice feed into Teays, but a Astute double team down there, really smart thinking by Kiski, and another three taken by Josiah Davis.
Yeah, that was a great kick out to Davis. He was stuck, he didn't force it. Man, teammate open, and what a teammate he passed to, right?
And we saw Jerome Baya early on in the game, but we haven't seen him lately. The big man had a big follow-up dunk, and it looks like Teays Valley might be choosing to go small because he has not touched the floor since then.
Well, we'll see what happens from here. And it's as I mentioned, you got to keep making adjustments. Your job is to stop the other team.
It's now for Kiski, number 2, Aya Sunde, doing the ball handling duties. He tried to draw the foul in the jump shot. No call, however.
I'm glad they didn't make the call because he actually pushed off.
But we will get a foul called here on Lynn, and his coach not happy with him, definitely barking something in his ear.
Kiski's in the bonus.
Shooting 1-1 for Kiski, Chris Moffett.
So while we have the break here for the free throw, we'd like to introduce you to another sponsor here on Roxamore Sports. They know the rules of the game, but do they know the rules of life? SOAR Youth Empowerment teaches your teen athlete the rules of life. For more information, visit www.soarcoachingacademy.com or call 609-837-7237.
Yeah, Chris just nailed the first half of that one-on-one.
Moncrief will split the pair, hitting the first, missing the second, but a chance to extend this possession for Kiski Prep as they get the offensive rebound and will restart their offense. And as a coach, you gotta hate that. The offensive rebound off of the free throw, that'll make you pull your hair out as a head coach.
Yeah, and you can bet both teams are practicing this. And one of the keys that Coach Williams talked about was boxing out. And, Kiski Banks just got an easy tap in without the box out.
And one thing you will notice about the best players, whether you see it at the high school or college level, they do the simple things right. They box out, they get low in their stance on defense, they use their mechanics, and just a lack of that on that free throw attempt as Kiski will go back to the line after the foul.
Right, for all our younger players watching, the defense, you got to commit to the defense. That's where you fight through the game, by stopping your opponent, by stopping the man that you're watching. And defense isn't easy because it takes hard work, and you got to make the commitment that you're going to stop the person, whether he has the ball or he doesn't have the ball.
So Teays Valley with a 3-point lead currently. It's going to be hard to extend that lead if they keep sending Kiski to the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely, and that means they're fouling, they're reaching, opposed to moving their feet.
Nice hands there as Teays Valley was trying to push to the basket. Shot off the mark, nice rebound, and here comes the Kiski Cougars.
So that was not a good possession. You got 1-on-3, and your teammates trailing behind you. That means you pull it out, you be patient to work for a better shot.
Good ball movement early on in this possession, trying to go baseline, but a hold is called at foul. Going on number 4, Cameron Villarreal.
Foul was called, but I love the fact that he was working to cut off that baseline. Just got to beat him to the spot.
You see that a lot now in high school basketball. Defenders not cutting off that baseline drive. That opens up so much as an offense with cutters coming in toward the middle of the defense.
Right, it draws fouls.
On the defense side, my biggest pet peeve is letting a defender go baseline and not fronting the cutter. Both of those just open up so many opportunities for an opposing offense.
And there's the offensive charge I was talking about. Step in and take it. That's sacrifice.
Great fundamental defense there by Brandon Brown. He's coached up by Ryan Arrowwood, who, looking at him, might be the best dressed coach we've seen and definitely has the best hair.
He's definitely dapper. One thing I'd like to say about Coach Arrowwood, his culture at his philosophy at Teays is that build culture first, and he has 2 tenets that he teaches. One is sacrifice, and the other one is don't judge. And you take those into a team mixture where everybody's comfortable and free to play. creates a positive culture.
And forget about basketball. Those are just two good life lessons to have, is showing off some of the sauce. Adam Baines, he thought we forgot about him, haven't mentioned his name in a little bit.
Right.
But he's definitely showing up the defenders tonight. For a bigger athlete, he has some pretty good handles as well.
And he just stole the ball, as you
Here it
mentioned
comes.
that.
Baines looking to rise up and throws it down with two hands. It's the Adam Baines show here at Woodland Hills High School.
So, again, it's like the up and down escalator. You're going up, you quiet down, and then next thing you know, you roared the crowd with a slam dunk.
Let's see if Norion Williams can silence this little rush for Teays Valley, but he cannot, missing on that long two-point attempt. And now a 7-point lead for the team in black and blue. Oh, nice post move in there. Faking to the right and then dipping in with the left shoulder and putting just amount of touch on it to get it to go.
You know, Kiski Valley, the Kiski Prep, they're a senior latent team. So for that player to go for the ball fake, which was a good ball fake, you stay on the ground. No airplanes, right?
Yep.
Don't take
No
off.
airplanes.
Stay down.
We always say leaving your feet leads to defeat, and really just a forced shot there. It looked like they were trying to hold it for the last possession, but it works out for him anyways with the goaltend called.
Yeah, every coach has their strategy. A lot of one-on-one coming down this last minute for Kiski Prep. Not that they don't have the players to do it, but you tend to lose momentum.
So that will give Teays Valley a chance for the buzzer beater shot, pulling it up. Looked good from our angle, but won't get it to go. So at the half, the score is the Teays Valley Lions 36 and the Kiski Prep Cougars 29. A lot of good talent on both of these teams, a lot of fundamentals, and a lot of fun shooting and scoring skills. So we're going to take a quick break here for the half on the Roxamore Sports Network. We will be right back for your viewing pleasure. The Roxamore Sports Network halftime report is brought to you by Barron and Ernsberger. Do you need a law firm in Pittsburgh? Have you or a member of your family suffered a serious injury? Did an insurance company refuse your claim? You may need help from a proven lawyer who will work for you. Call attorney Dan Ernsberger at 412-391-2515. And that now takes us to the Roxamore Sports Network halftime report. I'm Travis Newton, joined alongside Karen Hall. And a lot of really great basketball in that first half. We definitely can't complain. The big story was Norion Williams, but I think that Teays Valley was starting to figure him out here near this end of the second quarter, and it happened by just running him off the three-point line. At the beginning of the game, they were giving him too much space. Their hands were down, and he was taking full advantage of it, but they started to run him off the three-point line, put the ball on the ground, and it was starting to get to him.
And those are called in-game adjustments. You gotta be able to understand what your opponent does after the first quarter, Travis. That's like your scouting report. You get beat once or twice, and after that, you shut it down. And that's what happened to Williams. They shut him down, but then on the other side, Baines, he took over. He climbed the ladder, literally climbed the ladder and was throwing it down more than I'm sure Coach Williams for Kiski Prep would have liked.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these players respond coming out of the half. What answers they have for Adam Baines and what answers they have on the other side for Norion Williams. It'll definitely be exciting to see how they plan on stopping these two prolific scorers, and if not stopping them, at least limiting them to fewer points than what they had.
Yeah, I think you really have to limit Baines to a few less touches and make him shoot from the perimeter. We've seen everything he has inside, and obviously he took it all the way home. So we know he can make that happen. But force him to shoot perimeter shots. Let's see what he's made of as a shooter.
And I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of these teams comes out and then applies a little full court pressure to really get these ball handlers uncomfortable coming out of the half.
And you know what? I'm sure they would create turnover because both teams' point guards are dribbling way too much. Way too much. And there's been turnovers created from the dribble.
All right, well, that has been the Roxamore Sports Network halftime report. We'll be right back with the second half action here from Woodland Hills High School. We are back and we are live here on the Roxamore Sports Network. It is Game 7 of Day 2, Saturday, January 18th. We got two more premier matchups coming up with Penn Hills and Butler. Both teams have defeated the host team, Woodland Hills, this year. Penn Hills, a supreme rival of Woodland Hills. They packed the stadium just a week ago, and Butler beat them right away at the very first game of the season. And then after that, we see St. Benedict, another premier team from New Jersey, and Bishop Laughlin. Two schools that pride themselves on their basketball abilities will be teeing off on our nightcap.
A lot of national talent here in Pittsburgh this weekend. A lot of players that have committed to play at the NCAA Division I, II, or III level. And we're primed and we're privileged to have this here at Woodland Hills for the Martin Luther King weekend.
So while we have the chance with both teams warming up in just about a minute and a half, we'd like to introduce you to Maggie Jason's Listings. Looking for a realtor to work hard for you? You found her. Maggie Jason's Listings encompass staging, professional photography, information boxes with top-grade promo cards, open houses, and target marketing. To learn more about her featured listings, call 412-999-9528 and tell them you heard about them on the Roxamore Sports Network.
You know, watching and thinking about the first half, you know, both benches have been somewhat effective. They haven't made a huge difference or contribution to the score that we have here at halftime. So it'll be interesting to see if that play it becomes a factor as the game moves on in the second half.
Yeah, and obviously as the game goes on, your starters are going to get more and more tired, so it's late in the games when your bench players come and play their biggest role. We saw one bench player for Kiski come right into the game and drill a really big three when the game was tied. So I look forward to seeing the rest of these bench players and also to seeing those role players in the starting lineup find their role here in the second half.
I also think perimeter shooting could come into play. because, again, I'm a former coach, and if I'm looking at halftime at the shot sheet, there's a lot of shots that were made inside the key. And that means defensively they're penetrating all your gaps. And both teams had slam dunks, so, you have to stop that penetration.
Look for one of these teams maybe to settle into a zone, really compress the middle of the floor, and make them shoot that three-point shot. That's what the zone's supposed to do. We'd also like to ask you to check out Assure America. Insurance comes with a lot of questions. Assure America has the answers. Assure America can help protect your property, business, vehicles, and home. Be sure with Assure America, go to AssureAmerica.com or call 412-489-5838. And speaking of insurance, if Adam Baines goes to the rim hard one more time like he has been, they better hope they have some insurance on these basketball hoops.
I totally agree. You never know who's in the stands, right? One thing about both these teams, like for people that aren't familiar with Kiski Prep, they're one of America's only and few boys boarding schools. Not many of those around. And on the other side, Teays Valley, they have international players. They have, players from the Dominican, from Europe and Asia. We know that happens at the collegiate and pro level, but very few teams have international players at the high school level.
And I'm so glad that Athletic Director Ron Corsi got to invite these teams. We also saw Bishop Walsh yesterday, another one of those international field travel teams. They have players from Botswana, Berlin, Germany, and really all over the place. It's always good to see the diversity of these teams and really see the way different cultures interpret the game of basketball and the different styles of play between different ethnicities.
Yeah, Kiski Prep, their schools represent 13 countries and 19 states. So both schools, they're welcoming, they're inclusive, and in the world of diversity and inclusion, we love to see it in the athletic realm.
Yeah, and that's really the point of this tournament and the whole stop the violence. It starts with being good neighbors, being nice to one another. If you do that, one will lead to another in a domino effect. So be a good person. That's the ultimate message from this tournament.
From the looks of both of these teams, we know they're good guys, but once they cross the line, and if you don't have the same color jersey on, we'll talk about niceness afterwards.
Yeah. And we saw a little bit of scrap in our last game with Baltimore Poly. They got into it a little bit, and we had to bring up this is the stop the violence,
yes.
so maybe we should tone it down a little
yes.
bit. But
yes.
I'm all for that competitive nature, wanting to go at your opponent and just dominate them in every way possible.
It's all in the spirit of competition. And, adrenaline gets high when you look a little frustrated. But in the spirit of competition, that was a great game. Yeah, it definitely helps when you win by over 20 points, Travis?
Yeah. And if we do see some frustration tonight from Kiski, it's probably because they're an all-boys boarding school. They need some female attention or something.
Well, let's keep them concentrated. But that was a great spin move baseline by Baines. We missed that, but that was a great
and right away
baseline.
we see Stephen Watson. He didn't even take a shot in the first half and instantly comes out and pulls a tray ball. Trying to go hard back to the rim. Can't get it to go is Josiah Davis.
Nice penetration. They stopped the penetration. That's what we're talking about. That's one of the adjustments for both teams.
So Teays Valley will stick to that man-to-man defense. They're great at moving their feet and using those long arms to get in the passing lanes. And a nice patient possession here by Kiski. Oh, the nice touch inside to the big man. Goes up with the left, follows his own shot, and gets it to go.
That was basic, fundamental. I love that. Big man, hand out, this is where I want the ball. The great pass inside with a soft touch. Love it.
That's that old-fashioned basketball, see? That little shack, give it to me down in the paint and just let me bully him around.
Right.
So Norion Williams with the steal, telling his team to slow down. Oh, and going up way high above the rim to get that rejection, but a foul is called, which will send Kiski back to the line, and it appears it'll be Moncrief going for two.
So we've seen that play before, haven't we, Travis?
We have.
We've seen where Moncrief goes right hard to the basket and draws the foul. It's going to be key for Teays Valley to really make the adjustment to cut that off. You have to make them stop and pop or stop and pass.
It's interesting to see here Teays Valley choosing to start Landry Pilata, the 6'8" forward. He got a little bit of playing time in the first half, but starting things out here in the starting role coming out of the half. So 38-33 the score with 6.5 left in the third. It is a lead for the Teays Valley Lions.
So there's the zone that you talked about at halftime, and there's that perimeter shooting.
And when you go into the zone, that's going to open up those three-point shots. I was a shooting guard back in the day, and I would love when teams would come into the zone. I was like, all right, bet, I'm about to put up 30 shots tonight and drop 40 on you.
Well, even though you go zone, you got to still play the ball, which they didn't. But
Now
I love the
back.
fact that, Baines said, hey, in my arsenal, I can't shoot the three.
In Teays Valley, they were aggressive in the first half, but coming out even more aggressive here. And Leo Lynn adding to his repertoire with the three-point shot.
Spread the points around. Makes it harder for the defense.
And now an offensive foul. We saw the big man working hard in the paint a couple possessions ago. This time working a little bit too hard and just pushing someone around and getting the foul called on him.
Yes. When you look at Teays, Baines has 19 points right now. He's leading his team in points, which means, that's where the scoring's coming through. You got to contain that.
Oh, and they left Leo Lynn open. He had a nice look at it, just missed a bit short. Coming inside is Pilata. Now Baines with the rebound. And Baines just seems to always have that awareness where he is on the court. Always turns over the right shoulder and made a nice play there, getting the offensive rebound and just ducking to his left to get the bucket.
Yeah, and that was a great call. Again, you want to score. You think you have the momentum. Your adrenaline's flowing. Bring it back out. You're 1-on-4.
And right away here in the second half, Teays Valley extending their lead. They now lead by 12, 45-33. And going in hard once again is Baines, and they just don't seem to have a solution for him.
Right, so now you make adjustments. Maybe a boxing one on him, face guard. You got to take him off the ball. Get a ball, force the ball for him to pass the ball. Right now he's having his way.
Putting up that jumper and not happy with it was number 4, Cameron Villarreal. Didn't look good from the start and airballed it.
Right. Mentally, you got to let that go. Like we just seen Villarreal start talking to coach, talking to himself. Let it go. The play's gone.
And maybe a little bit of frustration before the shot there. His team's starting to fall behind, and he's trying to make. There's not a 14-point play, and that's what he was looking for there. Just trying, even if he's trying to get something going, was an ill-advised shot on a possession there. And Kiski Prep begging for a 3-second call right now. Adam Baines is living in the paint. I think he's already got a tent pitched up there, but I don't think they're giving him any counts at all because he's just dominating down there.
Well, that was a close one because the ball did hit the rim and it missed. So, that call was close. But nonetheless, Kiski Prep, they don't know where Baines is. I don't know how that's possible, but they have no body on him, no one around him to keep him off the offensive glass.
And I mentioned Jerome Baya in the second half that he hadn't been getting time after starting, and the big man's back on the court. And what a frame that is for number 33. We'll get his official height here. 6'9". Seems about right.
Seems about right. They're big out there. But I love the enthusiasm from Coach Arrowwood, applauding his team for all that great hustle, great defense. Love it.
And what I really like here in his listing for his position, it's just P. Post?
Post?
Be in the post, don't go anywhere else. Usually you see a PF for power forward, but
right.
Maybe he's just power.
I think it's power. From what we've seen, it's power.
Oh, and look at this.
You gotta love this. Look at them on the floor. This is competition. This is playing the game that they love. They were going after, and you talk about sacrifice, how exciting to watch that play. Look at both teams.
Yeah, and as a coach, it doesn't matter really who comes up with the ball at that. You're glad your players are on the ground and giving their full effort.
Yeah, because they're in the game. Mentally, they're in it. Physically, they're giving the body. But you know why? Because they want it.
Kiski wants it enough, they're going to have to start finding some offensive production, though. They're finding themselves down more and more as we continue to go into this third quarter. It's now 49-33, a 16-point lead for the Lions of Teays Valley, but we do see some hands on knees out here for Teays Valley, maybe fatigue. As Baines has been all over the place, he has a reason to be a little tired.
Yeah, first half you had Williams helping to dominate with Kiski and Moncrief. Moncrief needs to settle down, do what he exactly just did, pass the ball around, make some cuts, and let somebody else make something happen.
Reese Bowl trying to force the issue down there in the post, but a foul will be called before the shot on Jerome Baia, so a baseline inbounds on ensuing for Kiski.
Bowl's a big body. You got to utilize that. He obviously has soft hands, and he can make himself big. We've seen that happen. And he understands the post. They looked at it and went away.
Bowl was asking for it once again, but nice help side defense just floating behind there. And now a push out. Here comes Brown on the run. And Brown going to do it by himself. I was thinking he might get the lob, but he goes up with two hands and show he has some hops too.
It's contagious, right? Totally contagious.
So Kiski just no answers right now for Teays Valley. Teays showing that they're a premier third quarter team, and the message from their coach obviously was a good one.
Well, Teays Valley is dominating the offensive glass and defensive glass, and they're getting penetration all the way to the basket. There's no defense right now. You got players out there, but they're not down in the stands. They're not committed to the fight.
And a rare miss on the offensive end by Adam Baines, especially from that close. Oh, and a nice crossover kick out. Nice take by Baia. They wanted the foul, and good job adjusting his body in the air there to get the bucket. And after the made shot, we're going to get a timeout called by Kiski. So 51-35 the score as we are working our way through the third period.
You know, one thing that has been the difference for Teays Valley is that they've been limiting Kiski Prep to one shot. And the one shot for most of this third quarter has not been a good shot. That they've been taking maybe one-on-one, maybe a forced jump shot, but they haven't been hitting the offensive glass to get rebounds, to get another look.
And what I have noticed, even on that one shot, the defense very active hands. They're getting up, challenging shots on almost every possession. It's rare to see Kiski get one that's uncontested.
Right, and you know, Coach Williams, he talked about hard work and playing smart and being together. And right now, as they are working, and they're working hard, but maybe come out, work a little smarter, be a bit more patient. Yeah. You got a whole quarter to go, so it's slipping away, but you have time to bring it back.
Oh, certainly. There's no time for panic quite yet.
No.
And panic wouldn't help even if it was time for panic.
No, really wouldn't.
Look for these guys to just keep their composure. They are young student athletes, but these are learning moments as a young student athlete. So 2 minutes and 1 second left here in the third period of play. Game 7, we got two more with Penn Hills versus Butler, and then St. Benedict versus Bishop Laughlin as the nightcap at 9 o'clock. We've been here since 8 a.m., so it's been a bit of a long day, but we're here for the long haul. The Roxamore Sports Network dedicated to giving you the best coverage from the 2020 MLK Showcase. And looking for the lob to Baia. He hit the deck hard there. You could hear a collective ooh from
yeah,
the crowd.
It sounded worse than it was because he got up, thank goodness.
And it's been a slow first half for Norion Williams, and on cue, he gets the nice float game.
So he was sitting for a while, maybe just to get his wind or compose himself, but he was a big factor for Kiski Prep in that first half.
Baines now taking care of the point guard responsibilities.
Yeah.
I thought Baia was going to think about that three-pointer, but not with the P as his position.
No, not at all.
Good thought there on the kick out. Nice looking shot, but way off the mark. Goes way long off backboard.
Well, watching this half, I'm not sure if Kiski Prep has contained Baines as of yet. You know, he's getting shots like this one. He was planted in the paint, maybe a little longer than allowed, but nonetheless, he's still finding his way any way he wants on the floor.
Nice job there by Richard Fu. We haven't mentioned him yet, number 10. Coming in and getting a strong rebound doesn't really matter because there's a foul called on the floor. Possession 6 with Teays Valley. Brown inbounding.
You know, games like these are good barometers for great talent that's being recruited from all the colleges around the country, because now you play against someone like yourself, someone that's just as good as you, maybe someone that is better than you. Now you can measure where's your game compared to the other guy?
Yeah, and one of the biggest misconceptions in high school basketball is only the players that have the real hype on their name are going to be the ones that are here to get recruited. If there's a recruiter here or a coach here and they see you stand out, they're at least going to look you up. They're going to see, who is this kid? They're going to talk to your coach. They're going to ask, what's this kid like in the weight room? What's this kid like in the classroom? What does he do outside of the basketball court and on the basketball court, obviously? That makes him the best teammate possible.
Right, they find players they weren't looking for.
So
I know Coach Arrowwood is saying one shot for his team, but perhaps that could have happened on the Kiski prep end.
yeah, we've seen Kiski really squander a couple of one-shot opportunities. But of course, it's going to be in the hands of Baines. They bring two defenders at him. He puts up the shot. Won't get it to go off back iron as time will expire. We'd like to remind you to check out the Hill District Federal Credit Union. The Hill District Federal Credit Union has serviced the community for almost 50 years. Their purpose is to improve the financial health of their members so that they are not just surviving, but thriving. For information on how to become a member, please stop in at 2021 Center Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or give them a call at 412-281-0822. So with that, we will go to a short break here at the end of the third period. We'll bring you right back to the high school hoops here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton here with Karen Hall to my left. And you blink your eyes during this game, and it seems like the stadium's starting to fill up a little bit.
I think we have a barn burner that will be brewing very shortly next game.
Next game and then the one after that.
Yeah. But, you know, watching Coach Williams in that last timeout, he was urging his players, guys, look, we still have time to get this done. We got to get some rebounds. We need to score some baskets. He was, you know, intently and intensely urging his players to get some things done.
Maybe a bit of a night crowd here, but there is going to be a big Whippeal matchup. Penn Hill's just down the road. Butler about an hour and 15 or change away. But both teams known for their basketball and known in the Whippeal for their basketball skills.
Right, and that was just too easy. That was Davis just muscling his way in. Very too easy on the defensive end.
And I really like Davis on this team. He plays his supporting role extremely well. He knows that he's behind Baines. Baines is head and shoulders the best player on the court right now. But he does a good job of finding his own shots, getting involved in the offense, and hitting shots when he gets them.
A little out of control there, offensive foul call, but he's pretty much what teams call the silent assassin. Doesn't make a lot of noise. You sort of can forget that he's on the floor until he pops in about 8 points, and then you find out who is this guy.
So like you mentioned, a little bit out of control, gives it back to Kiski. They trail 53-37 to Teays Valley. Still looking to get some more offensive production from Norion Williams, but a nice follow on the miss by Reese Bowl.
Yeah, but that was because Williams was aggressive, and when you're not scoring much, they forget about you. And Bowl, if you notice, he's been touching the ball off of misses more this half than he did first half.
Let's see if we can get a good post move here by Baya. A little bit slow on the feet, but that's something he can work on. He obviously has the build. This kid's meant to be a basketball player, banging down there in the post. I'd like to see him put on a little bit of muscle, but the footwork's something that comes. You don't have to learn it right away in high school.
Right. They're still in not quite development because they have great skill work. But, you know, one thing with fouls down in the post, when you play behind the big and the teammates facing the ball, that's going to be a foul. That's going to be reaching in. You got to half front the post.
So Norion Williams thought he had a fast break, but got it poked away from behind. Fake on the three-point shot, nice take inside, and fouled from behind, going to the charity stripe for two will be number 1, Landry Pilata.
Yeah, I like the fact that both teams have been focused. They haven't really gotten too out of control. You know, the scoring with Williams and Moncrief, maybe that have stopped a little bit, but they've stayed in control. Right now, actually, Moncrief, he's still working to find his shots. And he's not forcing it.
And another offensive rebound given up, and Coach Williams definitely going to give his team an earful after that one. They're already down. And just a big offensive rebound there in the putback.
Yeah, this may be a motivating timeout, but I can guarantee it's probably going to come out a little bit different than it did the last timeout I described.
And it's definitely hard to interpret the difference as a high school player. You think, oh, coach is yelling at me, what's his problem? But at the end, the coaches just have your best interest in mind. They want to they're more focused on the end game than they are the immediate result. So as we come back from the timeout break, we'd like to remind you to check out Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, a 5-star cleaning company rated by the people for both residential and commercial cleaning. If you're looking for regular maid service or even a one-time clean, office clean, or even a post-construction clean, look no further. Big Rock and RAC Cleaning is the company for you. To inquire, call 412-203-8213. As we return back to the action here, go ahead.
Yeah, Teays Valley came out in that 1-2-2 half-court trap once again, and it was effective because they didn't Kiski prep, one shot and done. I thought that was James Worthy of the Lakers coming off of that from back in the 80s. Oh, my goodness.
And Pilata didn't even put a second thought into it. He got the ball and said, this is my ball. I'm taking it to the rim.
And he looked real good doing it also.
An NBA lane three and falls short. Probably would have got it if he came in a couple steps. Now coming inside. Oh, a sweet crossover by Baines, but he's called for the foul. I think that was the case there where the crossover looked so good that it looked like he pushed off.
Yeah, I'm glad the official was paying attention.
So ball in possession back to Kiski. They trail 57-39 with 5:40 remaining in the final quarter of play. And back to the foul line goes Moncrief. And this game still in reach for Kiski. It's getting close to the time where it's not going to be in reach, but this is what you need if you want to get back into it. Foul shots stop the clock and give you points. So
one thing I like, although Watson, number 13, he hasn't scored much, but he's definitely been leading the charge and directing the traffic for Kiski prep. So that's one reason why they've been composed and staying within themselves in the offensive and defensive set. Now they just got to stop some players.
And you can tell if he wasn't on a team that wasn't a star-study, that it's this Kiski team, he would definitely be someone that could, I'm sure he can get his own when it comes down to it.
I agree, definitely agreed on that point. Now that was great defense by Moncrief. He forced Baines to pass it. Unfortunately, to get the defensive rebound.
Pilata on a mission into Baya, now back out to Baines. And just too easy for Adam Baines.
Well, there's probably a couple items that Coach Williams will be working on next practice when they get back, or maybe even tomorrow. And that's cutting off that baseline.
So Kiski answers back with the bucket. Baines declaring for it down there in the corner.
Now, if you look at Watson, he's just watching the ball. You got to go up and pressure. You're behind. You got to create and force some turnovers.
We'll see what Baines will do here. Thought about the step back, but passed up on it and gave his teammate a shot. And that's what you love to see. He's been scoring all night with 27 points, but he had a decent shot, but he found a better shot to Fu in the corner, and that's what you love to see out of a teammate.
Exactly. That's good team play. That's good sharing the ball around. And then you're finishing. That's what makes it really good, it's the finish.
So it's starting to become a little offensive battle now here, halfway through the fourth.
You might want to force some traps, some full court press by Kiski prep. You need to force some tempos and turnovers from Teays Valley.
Brown liked the way that one looked, but a little bit long, and great hustle by Baines, just doing it all for his team here.
Yeah, Kiski prep right now is just standing around. Yeah, that was a great crossover.
Baines splitting the defender, rising up high and jamming it down once again. Absolutely destroying the rim on that one, dunking with bad intentions.
They list him at 6'6", but he's truly playing like a true guard. He's playing like a guard that can just take it and get it done. And look at the 3-on-1 situation right here. Okay, well,
Yeah,
send that one to the stands.
Hey, they saw Brown dunk on his last time up, and Cameron Villaroel said, we're not letting that happen again.
Not this one, not this one.
Nice block there by the young man. Still playing with some heart here late in this game.
They got a 20-point deficit, but you want to play hard and play out. You got to be more aggressive right now. You can't just lay back. You need to deny, right? You need to, to contest and box out and get some rebounds.
So time running down here with the 20-point lead and a nice take by Brown once again. He makes up for getting blocked with the sweet left hand.
Yeah, that middle has been penetrated so much that if this was an earthquake, there'd be a big hole in the middle.
And still trying to involve himself is Norion Williams, doing a good job of padding his stats, missing the shot, getting the rebound, and putting it back up.
Yeah, a few second chance shots by Kiski Prep tonight, not too many.
So Bain showing he can play 1 through 5. Went for a dunk on the head of Norion Williams. It was a little best on best at the rim there, but it looked like he had the advantage, just couldn't flush it down.
Now I know we have 2 minutes and 46 seconds, but if we get Teays Valley and Baltimore Poly, it's going to be quite hot at Woodland Hills.
Yeah. That game would live above the rim.
It would definitely live above the rim.
And you haven't had a chance to see him yet, but Sunrise Christian is the same exact way.
Okay.
I believe out of all three, between Baltimore Poly, Sunrise Prep, and of course Teays Valley, I believe Sunrise Prep has the best jumpers and the tallest team in general. So
that is pretty scary to hear after seeing both of these teams.
I know there
That's
was one
awesome.
point where yesterday in their game they had a situation. They had 6'6" and 6'7" come out of the game, and they replaced them with 6'8" and 6'10".
Wow.
So
Wow.
it looked like a pro team out there, just an immense amount of height on the floor.
Sounds like
for 'em.
some Division I talent on that team.
Oh, 1 through 5 Division I.
Wow. Wow.
Norion Williams trying to fill up his stat book as well, going hard baseline, gets the floater, and a blocking foul will be called, sending him to the line, and a tough ball there by Josiah Davis. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he's a couple little grimace there, but he'll be all right. He's just shaking that off.
And he's not going to have to worry about playing with that hand injury because that is his 5th foul, so
Yeah.
he'll be taking the walk of shame to the bench, and Baya coming in to replace him.
Right. But again, he goes out and you replace him with Bea, 6'6", 6'7". So you lose a little small and you gain some big.
And as a high school basketball coach, that has to be such a luxury.
Unfortunately, I'm sitting here and saying I didn't have all of that type of height. I've had some, but not 3 and 4 players down the bench.
So Norion Williams going to add a couple more to his stat line. He now has 21. I believe he's the second leading scorer of this game behind Adam Baines.
Williams is still talking out there. Great pass. Unfortunately, they weren't able to hold on to that.
Sometimes a pass is just too good when you're not expecting it, and that was that right there. Brown, a great look into Baya. He just couldn't squeeze it.
Right. Good look, though. So we'll see if Kiski Prep stays up and adds some pressure in the full court press. We'll see if that happens off the score.
Now trying a little bit of a different strategy, hoisting up that 3-point shot. It was way long, and you can tell he's been on the bench for a while. Had to work off that rust.
Yeah. That's all right, though. He's coming in trying to make something happen. But it's hard to set up a press when you don't score.
Now Brown trying to work baseline. Will draw the foul before the shot, so we're going to get a baseline inbounds for the Lions. Actually, scratch that, make it a 1 in the bonus for Brandon Brown.
Both coaches are still coaching. That's what you want to see. These are good games, so when you get back into your regular play with regular competition, you've actually elevated your play in tournaments such as the MLK this weekend.
Brandon Brown playing a nice supporting role as well. We've seen a couple of nice dishes from him, and he's up to 12 points now on the stat sheet, so he's definitely had his impact on this game.